Good evening, my name is Charlie Cadbury from Say It Now. We create branded voice experiences. Now, this all started when I was about 8 years old, and I knew that the future was us talking to our machines, because I was a big sci-fi fan, and choose your own assistant here. However, I had to wait ages and ages. In the 80s, I was tapping in the 90s, I got a mouse, and in the noughties, I used a mobile to access the internet, and it's only today, or about 9 years ago, that we started to use our voice. So Siri started, but it's actually last year, 2018, that there were more than 500 million of these smart speakers in the world, and it's getting better all the time. So yesterday, Amazon launched Echo Buds. You can walk down the street, order anything. You can now have Echo Frames. Speak to Alexa, look at someone in the face and say, I'd like a fish delivered to my house. No longer do you have to get out your mobile phone. Echo Loop is a ring, which does a very similar thing. And this is going to lead to a huge growth in voice commerce. How do you take advantage of this as a brand? It's quite difficult to get into this space, and so we've packaged this up in our brand experience platform. We deliver very targeted ads. We can reach a 27-year-old male in Surrey listening to radio on their Alexa that guides them into a voice-powered brand experience, which delivers a two-way brand engagement and creates a brand evangelist. At the end of this, we've got analytics and improvement platform, which allows us to understand engagement and ongoing improve that experience. This is delivered for just £2,000 per month. We deliver this for brands like Diageo, and this is in Asda stores currently. We've also had some great industry love. We won a big award with Amazon in the summertime. We're always seeking partnerships and passionate people. If you are them, come and give us a hug. Thank you very much.
Hello, thank you. That was a great presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My first question for you is that how are you guys going to keep up with the growing capacity of AI?
So we build everything on kind of standard natural language processing. So we use Google Dialogflow to power even our Amazon and Assistant experience products. So as these systems get better and better, that automatically makes the experiences we get better, and we tweak the customer experience on the front end, the VUX or the conversational user experience.
Cool. The second question I have for you is, with regards to could you talk about some of the privacy stuff that is going on right now? So the new face of consumerism. So how are you guys handling the privacy aspect? Are you making it life easier as opposed to?
Yeah. So the kind of the top level of the privacy concerns. If you saw the Amazon announcements yesterday, they're putting privacy front and center. Google are putting privacy front and center. Facebook are doing all the same thing. Because we're building the experience on top of these platforms, they are driving this whole trust within this the world of the consumer. And as consumers trust this channel more and more and more, the rise of conversational commerce is going to grow and grow. We saw this 10 years ago in mobile. So 10 years ago in 2009, you would not have done banking, or many of you would not have done banking on your phone. As that channel gained trust, we did more and more kind of mobile commerce. We're going to see the same thing happen with chatbots and voice bots.
Perfect. Thank you very much, man. Thank you.
Our winner, $25,000 of Amazon and Google credits, the growth strategy session with the greatest company I've ever heard of. Hey? Sorry. Say it now, Charlie. Congratulations. Well done. So, let's do a little bit further.
And thank you, every one of you.
Well done. That's the, for all the events we've done, that's a really, really tight run competition. So this will be the second last time, right? So round of applause for everybody that took part. We've got two goals every month for the pitch competition. One is to make sure that we maintain quality, and the other one is to have, we would prefer to have a larger female representation. So I just wanted to point out that Soom's business partner is his wife. She just couldn't make it tonight because they're busy growing stuff. But if you want to pitch in future months, if you're a lady, you've got an advantage basically. Is that how equality works these days? So women get a better advantage and you just say it, or should you not say it? Either way. Back to Charlie. Help me out of this whole place.
Right.
So you talked about when you were super little, right?
Yeah.
So talk to us about why this mattered to you so much. Was it just the fact that you were a sci-fi fan?
I can tell you a story. So in 1988, my mum came home in a burgundy Austin Maestro. And in the middle of the dashboard, it had what it's called a voice synthesis machine, and you could press buttons on it. It would say average fuel consumption or time, right? And so at that point, I was a big fan of Knight Rider, and I knew that the future was, being able to talk to your car and it talked back to me. And I thought that this was the coolest thing ever, even though it was like a burgundy Austin Maestro. So
2019 kit.
This exactly. It was amazing. I was like, and so that kind of started me off in a career in technology, just trying to get to this point, and now we're here.
Great. The privacy one. So Tom's kind of hinting at it, right?
Yeah.
And I don't see your product as necessarily having privacy issues, but there's a perception in the world
Yeah.
about data and privacy and stuff like that. What's your point of view about it? Like, because your business could take off and grow phenomenally, it genuinely could. How are you going to balance the ethics of what you're doing? Like, where's the line?
Yes. So I mean, there's a couple of ways to think about that. The first is like, I had a business building mobile phone apps in 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 12. And during that time, there was this whole idea that you couldn't trust mobile as a channel because you were going to give away your banking details. It was unsecure, unsafe. And people came around to the idea that they were going to get more utility from this channel than the fears around privacy. And that's why we all use our mobile phones and we trust them a lot more today. And I know that I've been getting a load of great utility from the G Suite of products over the last 10 years. And I know that Google can read every single one of my emails, which is almost as personal to me as all of the things that I might speak out into my voice assistant. So I think as long as you can kind of crest the utility and deliver more utility and reduce the friction on these channels, then the privacy issues are going to go away. So it's a question of kind of, it is, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
I'm telling you, it's good. I don't know who you stole it from, but it's good. Right, I for one am getting quite bored of my voice. So any questions for Charlie in the audience? No questions? No, no questions whatsoever. Not a single question. There we go. Thank you.
That was a very good talk. Just a quick question with regard to, and this is almost slightly me playing devil's advocate. So what stops the Googles and the big industry sort of retail sort of market spaces doing what you're doing?
So it's exactly the same thing as saying why don't Apple create apps? So what these are big platform plays. So these companies are creating platforms and to allow other people to then produce these experiences on top of those. And so that's a very kind of well-proven kind of platform concept, which has worked very well for Apple, and the same with the Amazon environment and the Google environment to create these assistants. They're looking for partners to kind of build on top of that. And so we're kind of lowering the barrier for brands to kind of start to play that game. Exactly, yeah. And so no, exactly. So they're empowering this, and everything that they can do is try and push this forward really helps.
I think they got burned when they did like Google Plus and stuff. Sorry for saying that.
First of all, thank you for the presentation. It's clearly the best one. I voted for you. But I wanted to ask, yeah, you can pay me after. I wanted to ask, are you moving in the direction of being able to gather like the emotional response from a person's voice and sort of the reception of the commercial and the product that you're selling?
So I can say so we're not doing that right now. That's something that may be possible in the future, and you could kind of change how the voice responds back to you, because the way that we can move towards conversational commerce we see is in kind of 3 steps. So the first step is trust, and you need to know that if you ask a question of an assistant, you get back the right answer, otherwise you're not going to do it again. The minute you then go back, then you can then start to understand more and more about the individual. You can start to have a personalized conversation. So the minute you're then having a trusted and personalized conversation, then you can then activate that relationship. So you can deliver a trusted and personalized recommendation, which is more likely to be taken up. And that's really the kind of the marketeer's nirvana of these very kind of trusted one-to-one relationships. Like if we became friends and I recommended a restaurant to you, then you're more likely to take that across over another advert. And that's where we're trying to get to, and these assistants becoming very trusted allies in your life.
Final question for Charlie. Any takers?
I read the other day that Facebook have just made an acquisition, and where you wear a wristband, and actually you don't have to talk. It actually reads your brain waves.
Okay.
No, seriously, they've just taken this acquisition. And I suppose my question is, where is this technology going? You're talking about voice.
Yeah.
But if it's going to be, the next stage is going to be the
Yeah, so I mean, so if you use Gmail, you've probably seen the way that Google's starting to complete your words, sentences, and phrases, right? So that's not necessarily reading your thoughts; it's just getting very, very good at predicting what you might say next. And so if you think of an assistant as just that, some entity that you might delegate tasks to, and this is where the kind of the removal of friction comes from. That any way that it can get a better understanding about what you might want to do next is going to make it better for you to delegate tasks to. It should just act as another kind of sensor for you to be able to have more confidence that the task you delegate will be done as well as you do yourself or better.
Round of applause for Charlie, our winner.